Hey everybody, Blugoblin here. Thank you for joining me for my comic book review for this week in June. Well, yeah, the ending of June ending of June. Yeah, ending of June 2013. I want to thank you all for joining me. I just got through watching some of one of my dearest friends in the world, TheMtVernonKid. He's doing one of his Q&A sessions, and he's already done a comic book review. I haven't watched it yet as I'm filming this video. After I get done filming this, I'll be watching it either tonight or sometime tomorrow. I can't wait to see what he thought about some of these books. I got 11 books to review here myself. This was a damn good week for comics. I mean, damn good week. And I had a humongous task of which one of these books would be my pick of the week, and it was tough. It was really tough, but I read all these books, and they were, for the most part, they were all very, very good, and I made my decision, and I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna do one pick this week, but man, when my particular pick of the week, I mean, it just barely made it. I mean, just barely. A lot of these books are going to get the same score as my pick of the week, but my pick, just barely made it. Just barely. Alright, I'm going to start with DC and end with Marvel. Alright, with DC, we're going to start with Aquaman, number 21. A simple yet pretty well done cover, in my opinion. Jeff Johns is doing the writing for this one. DC flubbed with the last issue, giving Jeff Johns the credit on the cover when you looked on the inside. I forgot who it was who wrote it, but they gave credit to Jeff Johns on the cover, which he didn't write it. Paul Pelletier does the interior artwork. The interior artwork is just fantastic. Jeff Johns writing, yeah, I know. I don't praise Jeff Johns that much anymore. I totally kissed his ass during the whole Blackest Night thing. But, like I said, that was then, this is now. Now, I think he's got a bit of a swelled ego because of the Blackest Night thing and because of that long run on Green Lantern. So, I'm thinking he has a bit of a swelled head, but that's just my opinion. This book here was really good. This was really good. Arthur finally comes face to face with a man, an Atlantean king, who claims that he was the first king of Atlantis. And this was really good. Mira also shined very well in here. I am loving Mira. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I like Mira more than Arthur. Don't get me wrong, I like Arthur. He's awesome. Jeff Johns made him awesome with the New 52. But, oh man, I love Mira. God, I love her. She's not real though, okay? When I say I love a character, it's an emotional connection to great storytelling. It's nothing lustful, folks, okay? But I love Mira. It's like she came across the man who claims to be her husband. It's not Arthur. And he's like, I missed my wife. And he kisses her, and she blows him up saying, I'm not your wife. And he's like, you know what your mission was. We sent you to assassinate Arthur. What happened? And of course, she tells them, and she's like, I've fallen in love with someone. And he's like, traitor. She's like, I'm no traitor. And that's when shit hits the fan with the so-called first king of Atlantis showing up and freezing everybody. Meanwhile, Arthur's got his hands full, still looking for the people responsible for smuggling all those Atlantean weapons in the surface world and everything. And he comes across the guy who's behind it. And this guy is just really arrogant. But then again, if you were broadcasting your message via teleprompter or something like that, whatever it was, to Arthur, I think you would try to talk a little cocky too. I mean, Arthur's not right there. He's not there right there in your face, so yeah, why not talk a little cocky? I like to see how this guy talks when Arthur's standing face to face with him. But without giving too mumuch away, he talks about something he did to an Atlantean, and the guy, the smuggler, he says like, well, here, let me see if I want to know if I'm doing this right without spoiling too much. I don't want to get my facts wrong. The scavenger. Why did I say smuggler? The scavenger. He's like asking, don't you care for life? Okay. Yeah, okay, it was an Atlantean that he took. Okay. Just double checking. Because, God forbid, I shouldn't get my facts wrong. But, yeah, he did. I'll just say the scavenger did something with an Atlantean, and he had a reason for it. But then you're thinking, when you read what he says, what he did to this Atlantean, you're thinking, why would he do something like that? And then when you get to the cliffhanger of the book, you're like, oh, of course, so obvious. Should have seen that coming. Fantastic writing. This was good. And, the cliffhanger, what happens at the cliffhanger couldn't have happened at a worse possible time, considering where Arthur's at the time of the cliffhanger. Great stuff. Great dilemma. Great drama. The cliffhanger happened at the right time, considering where Arthur's at. It was good. This was really good. Solid issue of Aquaman. Do yourselves a favor and get this. This was good. Alright. Next up, we got Batman The Dark Knight, number 21. This is it. This is the epic conclusion to the Mad Hatter story. And I'm so glad they got Ethan Van Sciver back on the artwork in here. Let me give you a little taste of how good Sciver's artwork is in here. I really had to double look. The title of this issue is written in Bruce's cape. Look at that. That is phenomenal. Of course, you probably know why he's running so madly is because on the very first page, we get to see why he's so pissed. Right there. His dead girlfriend. Which, at the same time, it was an epic moment to really summarize just how bad the Mad Hatter is now in this. But at the same time, it also shows a flaw with DC's thinking of Batman. He can't be in a relationship. Whoever he gets into a relationship with, sooner or later, they gotta go. Or either that or certain circumstances will keep them apart. That old cliche. But, oh, man. After reading this book, this is pick of the week worthy, but it's not my pick. But like I said, damn close. This right here, I said this on Twitter. I would certainly understand. Now, I still think the Death of the Family storyline was a bit better than this, but But I will say this. I would certainly and completely understand if people were to go so far and say this story arc involving the Mad Hatter was even better than the storyline with the Joker, the death of the family. I would certainly understand and respect that opinion, because I think it could be arguable that this storyline might have well been a little bit better than Death of the Family. This was really good. Yeah, I certainly think it painted a really good picture on how far Batman could go if you push him too far, and how much that, you know, he still has people he trusts and cares for to try and keep his head clear and steer him in the right direction. Because the ending of this book, the whole book itself was just a fantastic thrill ride. Good drama, good action. It was a chilling read. It was great. I loved the ending. You know, this is another one of those stories where Bruce is pushed, and I mean pushed, to the edge, and he comes close. He comes so damn close. I'm probably giving this away, but he comes so damn close to crossing the line. But at the same time, he comes close to crossing the line and almost enjoying it. I think I've given too much away, but just if you're a Batman fan, I'm going to say this. Do yourselves a favor. Get this issue. Get this story arc involving the Mad Hatter. This Mad Hatter story is well worth your time. It's certainly well worth your money. It was great storytelling from beginning to end. This was magnificent. I can't complain about any of it. Fantastic. And it fell. Stay. Alright. Next up, The Flash, number 21. Yeah, he's going head to head with Kid Flash. The deadly secret of Kid Flash. Okay, we all know this. Kid Flash, Bart Allen, he's Barry's grandson from the future. Us readers, we know this. And yet at the same time, I kind of feel like the storytelling in here was trying to make us try and guess something we already know, which is kind of funny. But the only question I have is that, okay, it's obviously Bart Allen, it's Barry's grandson from the future, but remember, this is the New 52 world. Barry and Iris are not a couple. It's Barry and Patty. I'm wondering, is this Barry and Patty's grandson? Is this a different Bart Allen that comes from a different family tree that doesn't involve Iris? That's my question. And that's the question I think they should have been asking instead of, who are you? Where did you come from? You know, it's like, because we already know this. But at the same time, this was good. You know, Barry's going for the first and probably most obvious lead, that there's a villain going around killing people, and he's using the Speed Force. He's known to have a Flash symbol, so, you know, it's justifiable and it's understandable that he would go confront Kid Flash about it first. But Kid Flash is, quote-unquote, not having any of Barry's shit. But I really don't, other than the nitpick I just mentioned about Bart's lineage and everything, I really don't have much to complain about. This was a solid issue. I wouldn't say it was the best from Francis Manapul, but Francis Manapul keeps the storytelling very well and very consistent. The plot is still going out very well. I can't really complain. It's just simply fantastic stuff. And the ending is, in a word, damn. if you're sticking with the Flash, you won't be disappointed with that. Good stuff. Alright. This book here, I was kind of mixed on at first. Red Lanterns number 21. My girlfriend actually read this before I did, and she warned me that I may or may not like the way this book ended. Guy Gardner, a traitor to two core. Charles Soule and Alessandro Vitti. This is the, I probably butchered those names and I apologize. But this is the beginning of the new creative team for Red Lanterns. And for a beginning, it was solid. It was really solid. Atrocitus is wanting to strengthen his Red Lantern Corps, and it's justifiably so. And one particular Red Lantern he's pointing at is Rancor, because it's established in here that Rancor is the only Red Lantern who can actually make constructs the way a Green Lantern does. So they're like wanting to sacrifice him, drink his blood or something like that, to be able to learn how to make constructs the way he does. And he says, no, my constructs are my own, get the hell away from me, stuff like that. So they back off, which surprised me, because I thought, the Red Lanterns were going to go after his blood and be persistent and not quit until they got it. But very nice. But the stuff with Guy Gardner in here was really good. I liked what Guy was doing before he got to Yesmalt, the planet of the Red Lantern Corps. And there was some very witty dialogue in here. There was some good storytelling, good comedy, but also some good drama, considering what Guy goes through on a regular basis. But the ending, Jennifer and I discussed this for quite a while, and we were trying to think of, how could this ending be justified? She thinks, and okay, I will agree with her for the most part, Guy Gardner's reasons for getting the Red Ring back are understandable. She thinks he was right. She thinks Guy was right, and she didn't blame him for what he said before he took the Red Ring. I can agree with her. I'll respect her opinion, but in my opinion, I don't think it was justifiable, but it was certainly understandable. But I think a lot of people who are reading this book and who are big Guy Gardner fans, when you get to this and you read what happens, and I mean, it's obvious, given away by the cover, he's going to get the Red Ring back. But read, and I mean read, what Guy says leading up to him getting the Red Ring back at the end of the book. But, now I'm not going to give away what he said. But, for me, I understand it. Because when you really think about what Guy has been through lately, you would think, okay, yeah, he would think that way. But was it the right thing? I don't know. I really can't make that call. Jennifer believes that he was right in doing what he did and saying what he said. I just simply understand it. But I can't really make the call right now on whether or not it was the right thing to do or the right thing to say. Just get this book and read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. If you've read this book and if you think it was right or wrong, let me know in the comments below. That's what I would really like to know. Alright. This is going to shock you. This was my pick of the week. I can't believe it myself. Age of Ultron, Book 10 AI. I almost didn't buy this, because after Book 10, the conclusion to Age of Ultron, I was so pissed that they ended the story in such an anticlimactic way just to basically give us solicitations at the end of the issue for what's coming ahead in Marvel now. I was like, what the hell ever. But then I got an eyeful of who's writing the damn book. Mark Waid. And I went, you know what? What the hell? I'll give it a look. Wow. No offense to Brian Michael Bendis, okay? Because he's been doing a good job with a lot of his writing here lately. But after reading this, I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, why didn't Mark Waid write the Age of Ultron storyline? Because in my opinion, if he wrote the whole story like he wrote this, oh man, it would have been so much better. Would have been so much better. I honestly want to believe that. Damn, this was good. We get now I have a feeling my old friend Deadpoolzilla might not like this because he hates Hank Pym. This is a Hank Pym book, and we get to see Hank Pym's backstory. We get to see how he grew up. We get to see how he was further developed when he became an Avenger, what he thought of himself, what he thought he should have been, or what he thought he could have been. We get to see how he felt about what was going on with Ultron, what was going on in his personal life, his family life, his hero life, and everything. Mark Waid left no stone unturned. He dove into everything associated with Hank Pym, and he crammed as much as he could into this one book, and he did such a fantastic job. My favorite stuff was the beginning, his childhood. He was closest with his grandmother, and you talk about the drama and the emotional punch in that beginning part of the storyline. And that was just the beginning. We went further down. We got to see, he was a very intelligent young man, and he was just getting scoffed at. He was getting trashed. He's like, Pym, you're not here to use your imagination. We're not paying you for this garbage. And then find yourself another damn worker and I quit. It's like the stuff that he was hired to build and the stuff that he was hired to work on. He thought of as child's play. He thought he could do so much better than that. And they told him, shut your mouth, do your work, and do what you're told, blah, blah, blah. The heart of the cards. The employee who had the big aspirations, the big imagination, and the biased employers that didn't want to fucking listen and all that stuff. This was great. I got into everything in this book. And then at the end, the revelation he had at the end when he learned about what Ultron was and what happened after he took care of Ultron and everything, the revelation that he had, he's like, all the stuff I went through, you would think I'd have snapped, and guess what? I did. And then he realized the one thing he could enjoy being was a hero. Just fantastic writing. I'm not going to give any much more away. All I'm going to say is, this was an ironic pick of the week because I almost didn't buy it. I loved this book. Thought it was a fantastic read. A solid 5 out of 5. Easily. Could not get enough of this. Mark Waid, please. Look, like I said, no offense to Bendis, but man, imagine what Age of Ultron could have been if it was written by Mark Waid. Like, if Mark Waid was able to do this, imagine what Age of Ultron could have been. Oh my god, this was good. This was so good. I almost want to frame this damn book. This was so good. Alright, moving along. All New X-Men, number 13. This was another solid book. Brian Michael Bendis. Look, I didn't want to offend you, Mr. Bendis, about what I said about Age of Ultron, or maybe the possibility that Mark Waid could have wrote it better than you. Look, I did not mean to diss you. You are a solid writer, and I've been loving your X-Men stuff. My God, I've been loving your X-Men stuff. The consistency, the connectivity to other X-Men titles. Awesome. But in here, we get so much more good stuff. The shining moment that everybody's talking about, and I will agree, it is also one of my favorite personal parts of the book, is Kitty Pryde's speech to counteract what Havoc said in Uncanny Avengers 5 when it referred to him not wanting to be called a mutant and all that stuff. We got to see Kitty pour her soul out in this speech that she gives to everybody while they're on the Blackbird. She poured out her heart. She poured out her soul about who she is, who she wants to be, who she wants to be recognized as. She wants to be known. She's Jewish. She may not have a Jewish sounding name. She may not dress like a Jewish person. She may not talk like a Jewish person. But she's open about it. She's proud about it. She wants to be known as an open Jewish mutant girl. She wants to be known for who she is. She doesn't give a damn what anybody else thinks. I thought the character for that moment was fantastic. Another reason to love Kitty Pryde. And we get Jean trying to use... Jean's still in training on how to use her powers and everything, but I also love the little bits in here where Wolverine goes up to her and he says, "Okay, Jeannie, you're going." She's like, "Jeannie?" He's like, "You need to use your mind to make them not see us." And she's like, "I can't do that." She said, "Don't worry, you will." And she's like, "Yeah, I know." It's just, and it's not just Kitty that's reacting to what. It's not just Kitty that's reacting to what Alex said. I mean, everybody is, and it's like, and Bobby's trying to make jokes about, classic Bobby, the original Iceman. He's trying to make cracks about it, saying, "Well, what if he meant, don't call him mutant, or don't use the word mutant in a derogatory manner, because you can make any word sound derogatory. Here, pepperoni." Okay, wow. All right, but the stuff in here with Mystique was really good. She meets up with a certain someone. I'm not going to ruin who it is, and she's got all this money. I mean, literally piles of money. And then she finally states what she wants to do with it. Now, I'm not going to give that away either. Then we get to the end of the book. I can't spoil it. It's one of those, it's a big, we see this and we see okay, what I will say is, when you open the book, you look at the first page and you're like, what? And then you get to the end of the book, the cliffhanger, and you're going, what? To call it a dun-dun-dun style cliffhanger is an understatement. I can't spoil any. Just buy the damn book and look at that. Read it, enjoy it, get to that cliffhanger. Holy fucking shit. Alright, moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 4. Another, again, Brian Michael Bendis. Sarah Pichelli. Damn! This was good. Another pick of the week worthy book, but, oh man. But first of all, get a look at that cover. Gamora. Gamora. No, I ain't going that far, guys. But Gamora. Shit. This is one of those comic book babes that I wish was real. God, I wish she was real. I think I'd let her kick my ass. But if I had to sum up Gamora in one word, damn. If Tony Stark had to sum up Gamora in one word, it would be, ow. Just get a look at this. I'm like, oh man. There was comedic moments, dramatic moments, action-packed moments. This book had everything that I love in a comic book. Fantastic writing, great artwork. The story flowed very well. I can't give hardly that much away, but yeah, I mean, it's plastered all over the internet. Yes, Tony Stark got into bed with Gamora, and she's just like, okay, we're done, I'm going back to the bar. And Tony's like, okay, go ahead. And when she leaves, he goes, ow. Fucking awesome. I love that. But on a serious note, we get further down in the book, and Gamora finds out the hard way that there's a huge bounty on their heads. And for the first time that I've seen, Gamora's in a bit of an underdog situation, but she makes it through okay. But this right here was a welcome treat for anybody who's a really big Gamora fan, because Gamora shined in here, despite what I just said about the underdog thing. Not much to say about the cliffhanger in here, but it was very well done. This was a solid book. Solid book. Loved it. Love Gamora. Love the Guardians. I'm glad I'm on board with this series. This has been nothing short of incredible. Great writer in Bendis. Solid artist in Pichelli. What more can you ask for? Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 4, a must-have in your collection. Alright, next up from Marvel now, we got Scarlet Spider, number 18. All the power, none of the responsibility. Chris Yost is still nailing it with this series. I mean, his entire run so far has had a few little potholes every once in a while, but for the most part, it's a solid run. I'm loving this. This is the next part of the story involving him and Wolverine. Oh, wow! Another great example of a fun read for Scarlet Spider. And him and Wolverine, despite the fact that they were going for each other's blood in the next issue, they actually team up in this book. And Logan's just like, so, you're Spider-Man's clone, huh? Yeah, okay. Oh, and by the way, if I ever see you, we do this, we don't do it ever again. I ever see you again, I'll kill you. And Kane's like, okay, I can work with that. It's all that's necessary. There you go. He's like, if I ever see you again, I'll kill you. Okay. Kane's got some balls on it for talking like that with Wolverine. And the Assassin Guild, they want Wolverine dead. And apparently Scarlet Spider didn't get the job done, so more assassins are coming down to take him out. And it's like, despite the fact that they practically hate each other, they work so well together, which makes it great. They do not get along at all. But when they fight, they are clicking. It is so well done. This was another one of those fun reads with another one of those dun dun dun, kinds of cliffhangers. It was good. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was a fun read. Great action. Good storytelling. The characters worked very well together. The scene with Kane's little buddy, Araceli, I can't pronounce her name for the life of me. Araceli. And I forgot the code name that she used in this mission. But her scene with the X-Men was funny, yet very well put on with the story. And Beast makes a very big revelation about her. And I'm not going to ruin that, but this was fun. A solid, fun read. I loved it. Alright, next up, Uncanny X-Men, number 7. Brian Michael Bendis and Irving. Irving's artwork is, it's come and go. There are times I like it, there are times I think it could be better. I don't really know if I could say this was the conclusion of the story involving Illyana and Dormammu and Limbo and everything, but there were a lot of things to notice in here. There were a lot of things to notice. Number one, Scott is a horrible teacher. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. For all of you fans out there who think, Cyclops was right, that's your opinion, and that's fine. But in my opinion, he's being a horrible teacher and a horrible leader. And some of his students they want out. They want out. One of them, and I'm not going to say who it is, one of them says, screw this. We've barely been mutants for a while, and you literally take us to hell. The hell with this. I want to go home now. And Emma's going, everybody just needs to come down. And they're like, no, I want to go. And everybody's confronting Cyclops in here, which I think they should. Because if anything, Scott comes off like a complete hypocrite. He's teaching kids how to control their mutant powers when he can't even do it himself. Because he screwed up with the Phoenix powers. They broke his powers. He can't control his I-beam anymore. His I-beam was a mess in this issue. Hell, even the original Angel who jumped ship to this team, even the original Angel's like, Scott, you're a hell of a lot worse than you were when we were kids. What the hell happened to you? And Scott's trying so hard to hide the fact that he can't control his powers anymore. So I honestly believe he is the last person who should be teaching mutants how to control their powers when he can't do it himself. This son of a bitch is such a hypocrite, and I hate the fact that he's still acting like a dick. And that's why, I've been calling him this. I call him Dick Summers, because he's a dick. And I'm like, what the fuck, Marvel? I mean, this issue did a really good job at further reimbursing that opinion of mine. Dick Summers is a hypocrite. He's an asshole. He's dodging everybody's questioning of him and his powers. Plus, he's got students wanting out. Not such a good beginning to your teaching career, Dick. But with the stuff with Illyana, the other part of the storytelling involves Illyana talking to a certain someone. I'm not going to spoil who it is. But when you see her talking to this person, you're thinking to yourself, maybe she went back in time to talk to this person. And it's hinted at in a sense. But there's something about Limbo that she does. Something involving Limbo and Dormammu. Illyana did something I didn't think she could do. Hell, she didn't even think she could do it. Bendis, this is a bit of a stretch. I don't know where you're going with this, but you got me. You got me intrigued. You got me interested. I want to know where this is going after seeing what Illyana did. Ugh. I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, next up is part 2 of 5 with the Hellfire Saga in Wolverine and the X-Men number 32. Jason Aaron is still nailing it with the writing. We got Bradshaw back on the artwork, and yeah, I agree with my student Chris. Nick Bradshaw is getting those really thick, square, steroid heads and really muscular bodies and stuff like that. And I gotta say though, that is a sweet cover. I like that cover, and this actually happens. Wolverine takes control of the Bamfs and uses them as like tracking dogs. And I love what he uses to bargain with them. Wow, this was good. This was a huge step up from part 1 of the Hellfire Saga. Because part 1 was just, okay, this is our school, this is who teaches, and Mystique is a sexy looking teacher. Go with that. That's all I got from the first part. This part was a huge step up. We some more interactions with the Hellfire Club, and Quentin Quire has really got his back to the wall in here. It's very fantastic stuff. There's all kinds of big moments in here. Don't want to give away too much, but I'll try to see. The Hellfire Club, the Hellfire Academy, makes a big reveal near the end of the book, introducing the new Hellions. And who they got as the new lineup, I'm not going to spoil that. That was a big whoa for me. Some other really good stuff, and we get to see the first teachers board meeting between everybody who works at the Hellfire Academy, and we really get a heartbreaking moment for Toad. I mean, Toad, wow. I'll give Jason Aaron credit for this. He made me give a damn about Toad. But it story flowed very well. That's one of the things I asked for the most in a good comic book. How well did the story go? Did it progress very well, or was it a bumpy road that was tough to follow? For me, it was really easy to follow this storytelling. It was good for what it was. The stuff with Wolverine and the Bamfs was hilarious. Seeing what Wolverine does near the beginning in his beginning parts of the book was good. And then the cliffhanger was one of those fuck yeah cliffhangers. Well, I'll take that back. The cliffhanger was one of those ooh, fuck yeah, I can't wait to read the next issue kinds of cliffhangers. It was really good. This was another solid issue of Wolverine the X-Men. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but for what I got, I sure as hell enjoyed it. It was worth every penny. Very nice. We're going to end this with X-Men number 2. This is issue 2 of the all-female X-Men team. You know, Jubilee, Psylocke, Rachel, Storm, Rogue, and Kitty. Brian Wood doing the writing. Oliver Capelli doing the art. I probably mispronounced that name, and I'm sorry. But the artwork in here was great. Now, I know I probably didn't give too much away when I reviewed the first issue, and I apologize for that. I don't remember everything I said, to be honest with you, but in here, we learned last issue that a classic X-Men foe, Sublime, had come to the X-Men. And you're thinking, okay, he's a classic foe. Obviously, he wants to rekindle their hostilities, right? No, he came there for support because his twin sister, Archaea, is coming after him, swearing revenge for expelling her out so many years ago. And we got that big reveal at the end, at the cliffhanger of the first issue. Archaea had possessed the body of Omega Sentinel, Karima. And I went, oh, because when I first looked at it, I was like, Karima. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, she's possessed. I'm like, whoa, shit's about to get hostile. This was good. I mean, the stuff involving the drama. It's like it's a slight cliche. You know, the possessed friend. You can't do too much damage to the possessed friend. You run the risk of killing the friend rather than the enemy and everything. It's been done to death. It is a cliche, but for what it was worth in here, it worked. You know, because there are certain characters in here that wasn't really that afraid to pull punches with her. Ain't I right, sugar? But, yeah, this was just good stuff. I mean, the Archaea is able to use Omega Sentinel to like override commands of security and in the school building, and the X-Men that are in here, the ladies have to trying their best to work around the security settings to do what they got to do and everything. But this was a solid book, and we get an awe moment for Jubilee. And Jubilee named the child. I forgot what she named him. But at the end of the book, Sublime made a comment. It's like, you know, to Jubilee, protect your son here. And she looked at the baby and said, "He called you my son." And I was like, wow, Jubilee growing up a bit more here. And I remember Jubilee's still a vampire, but she has gotten so attached to this child that she got into a short little argument with Storm about it because she wants to go along with this mission. And you know, it's something about what Sublime said about the infant, saying you got nothing to worry about. Once we leave the possession of a person, it's basically hitting the reset button. They're completely we leave no traces of ourselves behind. You know, so just take care of your son there. And that's when she says, "He called you my son." This was a solid read. I can't really complain. It was good. I'm glad I jumped on. I'm glad I got on board with this. I was ready to get it, and I'm glad I did. I think you would too. Well, that's all I got for the end of June, everybody, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all stayed through. I want to thank y'all for watching this here on my blugoblinX channel. Don't forget to go by my main channel, Blugoblin01, and subscribe to that. Stay tuned for more Midtown Comics stashes. I want to thank the good people, Ken and Sarah, and especially my girlfriend Jennifer, all the good people at Arkham Comics for supplying me with those books. Arkham Comics, best comic shop ever. That's just my opinion. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget my student, my dearest friend, TheMtVernonKid. Follow me on Twitter or on Tumblr, please. And please don't forget about Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. As I'm filming this, I think tomorrow or sometime a little after that, I got to get caught up on a couple of reviews for Inc. Plus, so stay tuned to Inc. Plus for that. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all later.